will benefit humanity. On today's Society Watch, we'll be discussing numbers of issues, starting from Gombe State. Government to prosecute uncles for amputating nephew's hands. From Niger State, Governor frees 30 inmates to mark 5th anniversary. On judiciary, Emefiele lacks approval for Naira redesign. That's from Hamid Homar. On President's anniversary, federal government announced cash transfer for 75 million Nigerians. These are the issues we'll be looking at today. You can join us on all our media platforms: Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, X, Atlantic TV Net. You can also watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. When we return from this show's break, I will introduce my guest for today's show to stay with us.
Corruption not in my country.
Driver, why you just a jack us up and down like this now?
I hope nobody carry belle.
Why you ask, oh?
Because this road where they see, so it no guarantee safe delivery.
We just a vote for government, but we not get good governance.
At all.
Road so no day. Light usa. The infrastructure it can't turn to be forbidden fruit for the city.
Corruption, well everything. Hello?
Hello, madam. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Mrs. Ayeni. I am calling from the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs.
Okay. Okay, I've been expecting your call.
Madam, remove this your phone from loudspeaker.
Now my phone be like that. Hello?
Are you there?
I'm hearing you.
Yes. We saw a copy of your invoice for computers, printers, and laptops.
Yes. Are you working on them now?
Ma, the prices you quoted are way too high now.
Madam, sorry, please don't cost.
We found the laptop you said is 1.8 million naira for 600,000 naira.
Hello?
Now my body network there.
I can't hear you. Network is bad.
Madam, we can hear you. Continue.
Hello, I can't hear you. We call you back.
Their behavior not good now.
Madam, now this kind behavior they kill our country. You suppose do things differently. Make Nigeria for better.
Corruption not in my country.
This message is brought to you by the Akinfade Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
I don't get a lot. Boy, they won't booga me small. They say, man, give them bribe. I say, nothing. Okay, now, we'll go block later. You remember that contract we will do that time now? They don't pay.
But first, you see the house rent with the old things. We go first call caretaker, take the money, slap him.
Beg, see, you know, say I get annual levy why they pay for club. Where me and boys they shout beer in our house, I could pay that one. You remember say me and tell you I go buy you motor. I go buy now.
Okay, they pay you money now. We don't they beg caretaker? Why would they beg landlord, old man, and they agree give us time? Money can't come now. You won't divert time. You said na corruption. Corruption, not in my house and not in my country.
Sure?
Sure.
Corruption not in my country.
This message is brought to you by the Akinfade Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
I don't get a lot. Boy, they won't booga me small.
Corruption not in my country.
If you're just joining us, this is Society Watch on Atlantic Television Network, and joining me this afternoon is a public affairs analyst, John Kelly, GC. Good to have you on my show.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
All right, I would have said Happy Children's Day, but it has passed.
Oh, we're still in the season, so Happy Children's Day too. I'm a children, so we are all children.
All right, let's look at the first story for today. from Gombe State. The Gombe State government is prosecuting a man for amputating his 12-year-old nephew's Adamo's hands, alleging the boy stole the phone. Abubakar Jagundo, the director of public prosecution, stated that the case is awaiting assignment by the chief judge. The Nigerian Bar Association Gombe branch vice chairperson Mwalian Abdul condemned the incident and brought the child abuse issues in the case, calling for the enforcement of the child protection law. She highlighted past similar abuse and urged robust reposting mechanism, victim support service, and awareness campaigns to protect children. This is disheartening. Yeah, we know that. We are not supporting, because this is alleged, it's an allegation.
Yeah.
It's not certain whether Amadu actually stole the phone in question. And what we do not know, whether it's his phone or whether someone reported outside that he stole the phone. And even if he has done it, is this the best thing to do? By removing the boy's hands, by amputating his arms, is that the best way to discipline a child?
Well, when I saw this issue, I've been like, why? As in, first things first is to check the boy in question. It's just 12 years old. And how do you define stealing? That's where you should come from the uncle's angle. You say this boy stole a phone. How do you define the word stealing? That's why you see most times when things happen, it's better we take it to the court to decide if the person is actually guilty or not. And nobody is guilty until being proven or found guilty. So you as the uncle, you claim he stole the phone. And for that, you have passed judgment on him. And not just passing judgment on him, you had to cut off his 2 hands. It's so terrible. I really don't even know what to say to the uncle. But this is something the law enforcement agencies and the law need to look into squarely in the part of the uncle. Because I won't even believe that it is because of the phone the uncle had to do this to the child. Something else is involved.
That's what you think?
That's what I know, because
no, that's what you know.
That's what you can't tell me that a boy of 12 years took a phone. I wouldn't say stole a phone, because stealing has its own definition from taking. Took a phone, probably the phone is not his. Now you are saying that he stole it. How did you come to that conclusion of stealing? Now let's assume it's a fact that he stole the phone. Is that enough reason to cut off his hands? Is that enough reason? And since when did that uncle become the law or become a judge to start passing judgment on people to the point of cutting off his hands? So this matter is a serious matter that needs a lot. I have a whole lot of questions to ask the uncle, or to ask on this very matter. But looking at it, I think we should really call the uncle and check him first psychologically if he's normal.
Okay, just like the chairperson of the Nigerian Bar Association, Gombe State, said that the issue of child abuse is becoming so rampant. Do you think that the government is not doing enough concerning child abuse? Because from the issue of rape, issue of trafficking and all of those, it's happening daily. And looking at what this man has done, this is supposed to serve as a deterrent to others. But though we are going to follow up because investigation is still ongoing, do you think the government is not doing enough on the side of child abuse?
Well, if it's about the government, I would say first, they are trying, but they are not doing enough. I would give it to the civil society organizations. They are doing enough. They are trying. But the government's part, I think there are a whole lot of lapses. Let me deviate a little bit from this very issue now to a regular life of child trafficking. If you drive through our major streets, you see children of 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, some are still they are still breastfeeding some. But you see them begging on the streets. Variety of them. Some are even naked, begging on the streets. In the traffic. It's not as if it's hidden. These are public places. These are major places where government officials, the major routes for government officials. So they see these things every day. The question is, what are they doing about it? Nothing. We've seen different videos of people who maltreat and beat children. What do government do about it? Nothing. Except the civil society organizations takes it up. Of course, we know the law. The law is usually for the civil, it's for you to bring it before the law. If you don't bring a case, the law won't just jump into the case. That's one thing about it. But so most of these children don't even have who to run to. That's why the government needs to have strong institutions that will follow up this child abuse, follow up this child's rights, and then see that they curtail a whole lot of activities happening to these children. If there was, if this man had seen a punishment that has been given to someone else who has done similar thing or relatively similar thing to any other child, I don't think he would have gone this far. He felt, probably because he has been allegedly beating this child over the years, doing to the child whatever he feels he can do to the child. So when this came up, he feels he is still the emperor over the child, and he feels that since he's the emperor, he's the lord over the child, he can simply cut off the child's hand and nothing will happen. I've seen many cases where I say, I will kill you and nothing will happen.
You know, this is not the first time, because in 2018, there was a 13-year-old boy that the arm was amputated because, according to them, that he insulted his teacher. And that happened. And that is what the man is looking at. That if that could happen to him, then this is the best way to punish you. And then you are saying that the government is not doing enough. You know that in governors in some states have tried as much as they can to make sure that they remove some of those beggars on the streets, because it's not even adults that are begging. Some of them are just waiting, sending their children to go hold people and then drag them as much as they can to get something.
Yeah.
And then they've tried as much as they can to send these people back to their states. But they will always find a way of returning. So which better way? I always remind my guests that we are here to prefer solution. Yeah. We are not just here to talk. So which better way can they come up with? What measures can they come up with to make sure that this, child abuse end? And when you are saying that, yes, some of them do not even have anybody to report for them to speak on their behalf. But what about those videos that flies? What do they do about it? Okay,
like I said earlier, you said that some government actually are trying to pull them off the street. The question is, when they pull them off the street, what do you do with them? You see, in most cases, they now send them to their state. As what? To go to their state and do what? And be hungry? These things are things of institutions. For instance, let me even come on now. There is what is called charity homes. Government is supposed to have. It's supposed to have a place where you take the less privileged to. Now, this is outside the what's it called? The orphanage. Okay. This is outside the orphanage. This is a state-owned charity home. There are people in these states, there are people in these countries who are willing to donate wherever. They are willing. This minute they're even looking for where to go donate, to give out things. Okay. But when they see people on the street, they can't freely give because you don't know who is there. So if government can pack these people, say, okay, you, what is your problem? You're begging. You say, I don't have food to chop, I don't have where to stay. This is the home you are built for. People like you, go stay here. The individuals, even if government does not have sufficient money to take care of that home, just keep the home running. Then advertise it. Make it known to the public. People will donate to it. So government is not doing enough by not building such institutions. So if you're talking of how government can stop that, the best way is to build institutions for it. There is a psychiatric home in every state. But do you know that government do not attend to any psychiatric patients in any states in the country, except you have money? So psychiatric homes, which is built by government, is now a business. I was privileged to talk with one of the psychiatric doctors here in Port Harcourt, and then I was like, this place is supposed to be a government psychiatric home, isn't it? He said, yes. I said, then why? Who are these persons that I'm seeing? They said they are their patients. I said, but there are a whole lot of persons roaming the streets, man. They said they don't have people to bring them. Okay. I said, then why is there a psychiatric home owned by government? They said, no, this place is business, so you must have money to pay. If you come here and you can't afford your drugs, nobody will talk to you. And even your stay, you pay for the hospital, the bed fee, and all the rest of it.
Okay.
So I was shocked. Then what is the government doing? Government is doing business with psychiatric patients.
So that means psychiatric home is not just meant for anyhow.
Persons, you must have money to
You
go
must
there.
have money to go there.
But originally, it's supposed to be for the psychiatric people, just like when you have the public schools. Now I'm beginning to see a whole lot of things about it. When you have the public school is for everybody that cannot afford the private schools. You go to the government schools, free education. That is how, this is institutions. Now, if government have the institution in the education sector, they should have the institution for the psychiatric patients roaming the streets. They should also have the institution for the less privileged. There are a whole lot of less privileged. Now, if you pack the less privileged, you take them to the place, you can give them a duration. So, okay, where are you from? While you're doing that, while they are there, you are negotiating with their government. If they're not from the country, you have to know how to repatriate them back to their country. If they are Nigerian citizens, you now know how to relate with the federal government and their government. How they can have institutions like that in their own states also. And then move them there. Now, while they are there, you don't just keep them there as another thing. No. Now, we're looking for a solution right now.
Okay.
You build the institution, you pack the less privileged, you've kept them in the institution. Now, remember, you cannot keep them there forever. You need to release them so others can also come. So what do you do with them while they are there? That is where you now start teaching them technology. That place is like a wall of its own. You build it like a wall of its own, just as a psychiatric home is. Once you're in, very rare to come out until you are being certified okay to go out. So that is how the less privileged home is supposed to be. When you're in, they keep you there. What is your problem? They now start teaching you how to go into other businesses, how to do other things, teach you technology, teach you skills or whatever. When you're okay, they settle you and establish you. If government can do that, we will have a better society. And most of all this will not occur.
Wow, thank you so much, John Kelly.
Thank you.
All right, the second story for today is from Niger State. To mark his first year in office, Niger State Governor Mohammed Bago released 30 inmates from Mina's Old and New Correctional Center. Represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Abubakar Usman, Bago announced the payment of fines for these inmates. Additionally, Usman donated malaria drugs and food items to the centers to alleviate economic hardships. Bago emphasized that the freed inmate would be provided with skills in agriculture and entrepreneurship. Governor's wife, Fatima Bago, celebrated with orphans at the state orphanage homes, promising future policies and programs for the children and improvements to the orphanage. All right, congratulations to the, let me say, the chosen ones. Yes, the governor of Niger State, Mohammed Bago, has granted amnesty to about 30 inmates that fine actually held them back. Of course, he has announced that the fine has been paid, so they have been freed. And the beautiful part of the story is that in a statement that they are going to provide skills in agriculture and also entrepreneurship for this set of individuals. This is to celebrate his 1 year
In office.
in office. What do you think? Do you think he has done well?
Well, I will give him, for this very
How many
move,
percent? 100 over 100?
I wouldn't give him 100 over 100 because he has said a whole lot after which he has not done. So I would give him 75 over 100.
No, that's fair enough.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Because for him to have taken this bold step,
Okay.
it's encouraging. So what is next now is for him to finish what he has started, which is the skills. Yeah, because, you know, like I will say to them, there are a whole lot of persons in the prison that are not supposed to be there.
Okay.
There are a whole lot of persons. You could see a whole lot of persons in the prison. The question is, how many of them are supposed to be in prison? So why are you in prison? Just for instance, they say this ones, there are some fines that are still keeping them there. So if government over time can review our prison system, prison is not it's not like you've gone to hell. Though. When you're in prison, prison is normally a correctional center. It's a place where they reset your brain.
But anyways, it is called correctional center, no longer prison.
Yes, That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a place where you're supposed to set you up, reset you.
As the name implies.
Yeah, so if you commit a crime, they are supposed to take you there, and then when you come out, you're supposed to see change. You're supposed to have changed from your original way. So you go there, you face punishment. You in that punishment is also setting, just like when you in those days when we were in school. And you'll be very careful. You understand? You'll be very careful. So that's what the prison is supposed to be for. Then you say, so when a lot of persons are there for what they didn't even do, the crime they didn't even commit, probably maybe because they could not provide enough evidence to back themselves, or they didn't have enough money to support themselves, or they didn't have people to follow them up, they just languish in prison. So if the government can review these persons that are not supposed to be in prison, they bring them out, and also those that have been in prison and they've come back to their right senses, those that have been in prison and their life has changed in prison, you bring them out, you bring them back to the society, but not just to bring them back to the society. That's why I say I'm going to give you 75%, because now when you're bringing them back to the society, out of it, the whole society has changed. The world has moved past you. You need to start. How do you even start? Because your society will not embrace you fully yet. That's why the stigma comes in. So they will stigmatize you. The society will be like, hey, come on, the other person. No, he's a prison tested. Don't go there. Everybody start holding their child, please. I saw you with this person. I saw you with this person. You know, so you need, as you brought them out, you need to inculcate them back into the society by giving them these skills he has talked about. Giving them these entrepreneurship trainings, and then setting them up to meet up the life. Because life is a race.
Okay.
The moment you slip back and meet, everybody has left you behind. Everybody has gone. So if they come out from the prison, if the government can sincerely do these things that they've said, that they're going to give them the entrepreneurship training, give them the skill, and set them up, not just giving them the skills and leave them. Because now, if you now give them the skills and you leave them, where will they get money from to even start? Because startup is a serious business, and more especially to people that don't even know anybody again.
Okay.
They've been in prison almost all their lives, so they now come out and you just say, go. In the next 6 months, you see them back in that same prison.
Because they're going to commit again?
Yes, now because
tendency.
They must chop. They must eat. The first thing is hunger. You must chop. So if you just bring somebody out and you keep the person along the road and the person is just roaming the street and is hungry, I say, okay, I brought you out of prison. I gave you entrepreneurship skills. So why are you still committing crime? So what do I do with the skill you've given me? Where do I get money to start anything? You need money to start everything in this world.
But definitely the governor, I believe he's going to impart.
Yes, I suppose so too. I suppose so. The government, anything that the governor wants to do for them, since he has released them directly, he should also do it directly.
Okay, so do you think, because you talked about stigmatization here, do you think there is a better way to actually maybe embrace these people back in the society? Because this is another thing. It's one thing to give them skill. As long as a lot of persons in that locality, in that community, knows that so-so person went to prison and the person is just out. No matter how successful you are, you can only attract the kind of people, attract likes. There are some persons that can actually boost your business, but they will not come close because of that stigma. So is there something the government can do? Do you think that psychiatric can do a lot? You think psychologists equally can actually do a lot for them?
Okay, actually, right now, anybody that is being released, they said, like, for instance, let's not even go to anybody, let's talk about these very persons now. The government said they are going to give them skills. That is a program the government wants to run on them. So running that program will also involve them having counselors, So they are actually going to counsel them on the society. I know they will do that for sure. They must do that for sure. But talking about the society itself, accepting them back, we have to be real. The society will not accept them back easily. It will take a while.
Okay.
So I will advise the government to set them up, but not from their base. if they go back to their base, they will fail.
What do you mean by that?
For instance, if you are from here and you